All right, guys, let's talk the scale. Now, there is many things that have been said, and I followed this pretty closely on Twitter. Ariel Helwani, one of the predominant voices in our entire industry, was doing the weigh-ins live. So when Charles misses weight, it comes out instantly that Charles has been stripped of the championship, which is simply not true. So I call into Ariel's show quickly. They tee me up, and don't forget, I'm the one person who told you the day before the weigh-ins that Charles wasn't going to make weight. So people wanted to hear from me, right? I get it. I took a shot in the dark. Great. But I got it right, and so people want to know what I had to say. And I said, Ariel, I want to stop everything right here. It is being reported Charles has been stripped. It's not true. So then I get told by somebody, this was on Instagram. I get told by somebody on Instagram, they laughed at me. They gave me like the laughing emoji and said, Chael, it's already been announced by a UFC official. Like somebody actually said that. Like that's how rules work. That somebody that gets a paycheck from the UFC has already made the statement that he was stripped. I told Ariel, I said, no, hold on. Every single rule that we have has a statute and or a bylaw. We have 50 different jurisdictions in the United States of America, and that's before you go to tribal territory. Nobody knows what all of those rules are. So if the champion is going to be stripped because he missed weight, simply provide me with the page of the Arizona State Athletic Commission who oversaw this. Simply show me where that's written. To this point in time, that has not happened. To this point in time, 2 statutes have been provided for me. One says the weigh-in must be conducted 24 hours, no more than, weigh-in must be conducted no more than 24 hours prior to the contest. It was conducted 28 hours. Another bylaw actually states where the scale must be placed, and it wasn't. I'm not looking to hang my hat on either of those things, and I must actually credit Rose Gracie, who is the first to bring that to us about the time. Now, I can only tell you Oregon law. And I know Oregon law better than anybody, and I will fully admit that I go back to 2006. But prior to 2006, I was sued personally by the Attorney General's office of the state of Oregon 7 times, and I beat the Attorney General's office 7 times. I beat them because I knew the rules and they didn't. I'm not trying to add credibility to my point. I'm only citing for you Oregon. But in Oregon, we also have a number of rules. If it's going to be boxing, how big the ring's going to be. If it's going to be MMA, how big the cage is going to be, what the gloves are being, where they're going to be made, when the weigh-ins are going to be, where the front row is going to be in conjunction to the ring apron. Like, we've got all these different rules. But they are all superseded by, unless otherwise specified by the executive director. I would trust in Arizona, even though there's 2 rules that appear to not be followed, that if we read the entire thing, unless otherwise specified by the executive director is also there. I can't prove that. But it was announced and supported by a UFC official. I was told this on Instagram, that Charles had been stripped. I called into Ariel's show. I said, no, he is not. And I said, Ariel, I'm not positive this. I could turn out to be wrong, but I will put my name on it right here on this moment. I don't agree with that. Now, it has turned out that I was completely right. Charles was not stripped on the scale. Charles was not stripped prior to the fight. He was stripped the moment the bell rang. This is interesting, guys. You got to stay with me on this. This has never been fought and this has never been tested. But there is no contract in the world that unilaterally gets decided. Nobody gets to look at a contract and say, violation, here's what happens. If the other side would like to take it to either an arbitrator, a commission, or ultimately a judge. It gets to be interesting. Many other people have stated, again, this is on social media, that the scale was off, and a whole bunch of fighters said it was off by half of a pound. Charles himself weighed in on a UFC scale, made 155 on the dot, and then was 155.5. The scale was therefore off. Just so you understand, the only reasonable conclusion that you would come to, even if that information is true, is that between the two scales, the check scale was wrong. That is the conclusion that a reasonable person would come to. Not that the official calibrated scale was wrong. And I would like for you guys to understand this just a little bit. If any of you have a bathroom scale, and it doesn't matter if you paid $18 for it or if you paid $800 for it, none of you are going to assume that your bathroom scale is spot on to a calibrated scale. Many of you will weigh in at a gym. Nobody with any reasonable understanding of how a scale works is going to think that the scale at the gym is accurate. Why? Why wouldn't the bathroom scale be right? Why wouldn't the scale at the gym be right? Why wouldn't the scale at the doctor's office be right? One simple reason: every time you get on and off a scale, it adds the likeliness that it's going to decalibrate. So anytime you have a public scale, a reasonable person, particularly that lives in this space, knows, just based on logic, that's not right. But it can get me close. It's close enough for the doctor. There's a reason he lets you weigh in with your pants and your shirt. He doesn't have to actually know what you weigh. There's a reason in your locker room or within your PE class or your buddies in the gym, you don't have to know what you exactly weigh. But the way a calibrated scale works, you really do need to understand this. When it's calibrated by the commission, who is the government, it will be isolated. Nobody can touch it. They will generally put a security guard on it. It is that set. Nobody touches the official scale. Why? Because every time a body gets on and off the scale, it throws off the calibration. So you do a card with 11 fights in this case, 22 athletes. That's a pretty small focus group, but either way, you would recalibrate that scale before the next time that you use it. So if you have the UFC scale that is open to the public and is being traveled and is being set up and is thrown in this room and now it's over here and oh, it's moved to floor 2, a reasonable person is going to know that's a really good guess. But the reason that every fighter was able to say that it was a half a pound off is because every single fighter travels with their own scale that they don't let anybody on. I was fighting since 2006. I fought in 7 different countries. I took my scale to all 7 countries. The reason that the other fighters could tell Charles and tell the media and post to you guys on Twitter that they believed the check scale was off half a pound was not because they were juxtaposing that against the official scale. That's why they all made weight. They knew that it was a half a pound off because they checked the scale and then they went to their room on their private scale that they brought. Very important that you understand that concept. It is baffling that the champion of the world, who I'm not giving a hard time to, not picking on Charles, he took enough. Certainly not giving him a hard time. I'm sharing with you guys, it is flat baffling that the champion of the world and the highest paid athlete on the entire card didn't have a scale. Did not have a calibrated personal scale. You know, the UFC scale works. I mean, just, you guys understand that, like, people don't want to go get on it. The UFC has someone says, hey, come get on the scale. We want to see what you weigh. We want to have a good idea of who's going to make weight. We want to make sure you have a good idea of if you're going to make weight. People come out of the shower, they jump on the scale, they got a towel, they're dripping water on it. It's anything but official. There is no scale that people can get on and off at will on the face of the earth that you could look at as an accurate scale. Doesn't matter if it's digital. Doesn't matter if it's a meat scale. So I only bring that to you just so you understand. The reason that so many fighters supported Charles and backed him up and said it was a half a pound off was not because they were sure the check scale was right and that this one was wrong. It's because they had their own scales, which is why they all made weight and took the extra half a pound off, something that Charles apparently didn't know. Learning lesson, no problem. Charles needs to go get a scale. He needs to travel with the scale. It's interesting, right? It's one of these things. I don't know if anything could be made of it. I don't know that there's any recourse that Charles could have. I don't know that anybody has ever pushed back and tested this. I tell you what, if I was in that spot, this story would be a lot different. I'm going to leave it at that.